Hi everyone! Today I will be talking to you about intonation. What exactly is intonation? Intonation is the melody in language which has different pitches that rise and fall. Intonation is used to communicate and interact, sometimes express our emotions and attitude, like sad, happy, anger, hesitation, frustration, lack of interest, and a lot more. And those are emotions. Think of this. Throughout this conversation with me, I speak a different tone. Sometimes I have a high tone, other time I have a curious or a dramatic tone. So that makes a conversation interesting. To me, it's very crucial to learn and use correct intonation in your spoken English to make your language more dynamic and more interesting to listen to. Think of this scenario. For example, if I keep talking like a robot all the time and I don't have any intonation, and I speak very, very fast, just like the last time, wouldn't it be kind of like lack of interest when you're listening to me? So instead, when we speak in a fun tone and it depends on our emotion, it is so much more confident while we're speaking instead of interacting and communicating like a robot. So today, I'm going to share to you how to use correct intonation, the types of intonation, and why intonation matters. First off, there are four types of intonation in English. We have falling, rising, non-final, and wavering intonation. So first off, let's move on to our first kind of intonation, which is rising intonation. Rising intonation is when we rise our voice in the end of a sentence. This is usually used in some yes-no questions. For example, are you Vietnamese? We just rise the word "mise" in the end of the sentence in the question, right? So normally this will happen in some yes-no question where you will have to answer yes or no and explain why. For example, are you Vietnamese? Does she know about this? Is the film good? Are they leaving soon? So let's practice those four sentences over again and make sure to have the correct intonation. Think about this. If you have the wrong intonation, for example, are you Vietnamese? It's gonna be the sentence kind of sad, and the person that you're talking to, sometimes they will misunderstood you that you are angry about something. So instead, say this in a rising tone. Are you Vietnamese? Does she know about this? Is the film good? Are they leaving soon? Also, this is also used in some expressions like, excuse me? Really? You see that we just rise our tone in the end of a sentence. I want to emphasize on the word really a little bit. There are two ways to say this word. If we say really and really, it has two different meanings. So when we say really, it means that we want to ask the person, are you sure? Is this like real? And if we just say that really, it means that okay, this is absolutely real. If we say really in an emphasizing tone and like a curious tone, it will seem like that we are curious and it's like a question to ask if this is true or not. And when we say really, it's like an answer to the question really. So those are two differences and it has different meanings. So remember, use correct intonation matters. Second types of intonation is falling. We use this falling intonation when we want to, emphasize on the last sentence and we want to lower our voice in the last sentence. This is usually used in some statements and some WH question. WH question are some questions that have the word what, where, who, how, why, and a lot more, etc. So first off, questions like those. What's your name? We never say what's your name. It's kind of weird saying that, right? I must admit. So we say, for example, what's your name? Or where do you live? Or how old are you? Or who's that lady over there? So instead of saying who's that lady over there, we say over there. So we lower our voice in the end of the sentence. Beside WH question, we also have some statements. For example, my name is Kate. We lower our tone in the word Kate. Or nice to meet you. The word you, we also lower our voice. And finally, I'll be back in a minute. We will never say, I'll be back in a minute. That sounds actually kind of weird. So instead, we say, I'll be back in a minute. We lower our voice, minute. Alright, so we finished our second. Now we have our third types of intonation, which is non-final intonation. What is non-final intonation? It is rises and falls within a sentence. So normally, if I have this normal conversation, it is called non-final intonation. I am using non-final intonation, which means that sometimes I speak at a rising tone, sometimes I speak at a falling tone. So that is non-final. For example, this is sometimes used in some introductory phrases. Like, do you remember my introductory phrase in the beginning of this video? If you don't remember, go back there. But it is that, hello everyone, today I will be talking to you about intonation. I will be talking to you about intonation. So that's non-final, some introductory phrases. Sometimes it's also to use in some unfinished thoughts. For example, after I graduated, I got a job. After I graduated, I got a job. Or, I'm gonna head out for some fresh air. I'm gonna head out for some fresh air. Non-final. So we usually use non-final in some unfinished thoughts that we're still thinking and we haven't finished what we're saying, or some introductory phrases, or in just some normal conversation. So non-final is kind of more common in daily life conversations. Now, let's move on to our last and my favorite of all time, which is wavering intonation. So what is wavering intonation? Wavering intonation is used mostly to express our emotions and attitude. Sarcasm, sarcastic. If you speak in a sarcastic way, your tone will be different. Or amazement, or many kinds of emotions. So wavering intonation is mostly used to express our emotions and show our attitude to a problem. For example, I had this little fun exercise. Let's try this. We have this phrase, you had. Normally say you had, which makes no sense. But let's try it in different attitude and different motions. Let's try saying it in a curious way. You had, in a curious way. Or very surprised. You had? You know when you say those, you can use your body language to express more from those intonation. Or saying in a very disappointed way. You had. I'm so disappointed. You had done it. Or angry. You had? I can't believe you had done it. Like that. So four tone, but still the same sentence, but means very different. The meaning change. The meaning will varies when you're saying different tones. Okay, now let's try one more time. We have the word thanks a lot. Thanks a lot in normal, thanks a lot. In happy, very happy way, thanks a lot. Or a sarcastic way, thanks a lot. Sarcastic means that you are saying in a sarcasm way, sarcastic way, thanks a lot. Okay, we have the word okay. Okay, normally we say okay. We also say very excited, okay. Or frustration or angry, okay. Or hesitation, okay. Yeah, the tones varies in different situations. Finally, we have the word no. So very angry, no, absolutely not. We also have surprised, no. Or hesitant, no. Yeah, so our tone varies. So we have 4 types, and I already said it to you. So you see that the meaning can change, and sometimes the way that you speak, the way that you use intonation randomly can also get you into trouble. So I have this sentence that I'm gonna test you for this sentence to see what this sentence actually meant. This sentence is that I never said he did not go to school. A normal sentence has different meanings. If we emphasize on the word I never say he didn't go to school, means that you're not the one who say it, but someone else say it. So I never say he didn't go to school. But if we emphasize on the word say, I never say he didn't go to school, means that you say something, but not that you said he didn't go to school. See, it's different. Or if we emphasize on the word go or didn't, I never say he didn't go to school, means that maybe he go. I did not say he didn't, right? So different like tone and different, tonation in a sentence can mean a lot of meanings. So make sure you use intonation the right way and don't just use them randomly whenever you want. I hope this video is helpful for you. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.